Well, it rocked the quiet Laverne community, a wide-ranging sex scandal inside the police department. Multiple officers were fired, including the former police chief.
But one of those officers now says he was only fired out of retaliation. Only on News 2, My Owen sits down with former Sergeant Ty McGowan to discuss the scandal and those allegations against him.
What it is a lot of people have heard a story. It's only a quarter of the story.
Tonight, one of the sergeants named in a sex scandal investigation at the Laverne Police Department agreed to his first sit-down interview to answer our questions.
This interview and everything is, no, we're going to fight back. It's time to come out of hiding. I'm not in hiding.
Sergeant Henry Ty McGowan, one of the 5 officers fired after a city investigation. 3 more were suspended. But how did this all start?
You can ask any internal affairs investigator. You do not release that information. You do not. You release the information necessary to make your point.
A 20-page report would reveal every little detail, describing coworkers having sex with each other, new text messages being sent, and at the center of it all, the only female officer listed in the investigation, former police officer Megan Hall. But when did she and McGowan first meet?
I was in charge of the PT test to get qualifications to become a police officer.
McGowan says it's the physical fitness test everyone has to pass. He claims he often offered to train people. When he first approached former Officer Hall, she initially turned down his help. But McGowan claims after she failed the first time, she reached back out.
Yes, we did form a bond. Pretty much everybody that I've trained in the past.
So how did a simple favor turn into being listed in a sex scandal investigation?
That's a good question. I really don't have the answer to that, but it did transition to, hey, look at me, look at me. Not interested. Sorry. Not interested, but I'll play along.
Did you ever have sex with former Officer Hall?
No.
Did you ever receive nudes?
I received a lot of nudes, a lot of videos from her.
From her?
Yes.
Were they solicited?
Solicited, never. I never engaged in a conversation with her initially. I never initiated a conversation with her, ever. Ever. Not once. This was unsolicited. Hey, how do you like this?
Investigators wrote they found no visual evidence McGowan ever engaged in those text messages.
Why am I fired? Why was my name at the first of that?
Now, a year later, McGowan has filed a lawsuit demanding $1 million in damages, claiming he was terminated because of his race and was fired in retaliation. But that's not where McGowan's story ends. Sexual harassment isn't the only reason he was fired. Tomorrow night, we ask him about the allegations that he placed his hands around the neck of a coworker. I reached out to the city asking for an interview or comment regarding McGowan's accusations. The city tells me they cannot comment on pending litigation. I also reached out to Megan Hall's attorney for comment. We have not heard back.